Have you ever played at altitude? Have you experienced what that's like playing at like Salt Lake City or Denver?
Yeah, I played at in Colorado for USA a couple times, so I know it's pretty hard to breathe up there. So, but I get adjusted quick, so it'll be fun.
I mean, what differences in a game do you notice as kind of the game goes on? I think a lot of people say at first it's hard to breathe, then you get adjusted to it, and then it kind of hits you again later.
Well, for me, I don't know. Like when I first went down there, it was tough for like a couple of days. But then when I went down there the second time, after the first day of just running up and down the court, I got used to it, and it was pretty cool after that.
Was there any difference in how you prepared the second time around, like drinking more water or something like that to get ready for it at all?
No, I think it was just because I already experienced it and I already knew what was coming. So, I went hard the first day and, got it all out. And, when the second day came, it was just pretty cool. So it didn't bother me at all.
Chris, you had 19 points against Utah last time you played them. What do you think about your game works best against a type of team like Utah?
Really, I just try to play my game regardless. It doesn't matter whoever we play. So hopefully I come out here and just do the same thing that I always do, and we'll get the win.
You guys thinking about what you need to do for the NCAA tournament at all, or have you thought about that? Trying to get the wins to get the win-loss record as good as it can be going into that.
Yeah, honestly, we try not to think too much about that. If we win all of our games, then we'll definitely be in there. So really, we just want to focus on winning these next two, and then beating SC, and then making a good run in the tournament, hopefully winning.
I know he does so many things for this team, but what do you value the most about having Aaron as a teammate?
He's a do-it-all point guard. He's definitely a leader, and I love to have him on the court. It's hard and difficult for him, when he goes out of the game and stuff. So, he's always looking to share the ball, and he's always looking to score. So, I mean, there's nothing more you could ask for a point guard.
Tom, you're a veteran of going on this trip. What makes this trip so hard? I mean, Colorado. You look at Colorado; they're kind of in the middle of the Pac-12, but I think they're 6-1 at home in the Pac-12, one of the best records. Utah's always tough at home. What makes these two games so hard to win as the road team?
I think two things you have to point out is they're both extremely well-coached teams. They're guys that play hard, and they have really good environments and tough environments for road teams to come in and play. I think the altitude definitely makes a little difference as well, but at the end of the day, it's just about the guys they have on the court. I think they're very well coached and just play really hard to get the home wins, which are a commodity that everyone kind of searches for in this Pac-12.
Do you do anything to adjust the altitude?
I think it's just about conditioning at the end of the day, and just kind of understanding that there's going to be a time where you're kind of gonna hit a wall in a certain sense. Just being able to overcome it though and just push through it, because it's hard to replicate that playing here in Los Angeles. So I think just the most important thing is just understanding that going in and just being ready to overcome it.
Looking back at past years and the practices leading up to this road trip, have you had more conditioning in those practices to prepare for these games, or is it the same conditioning?
I think it's more or less just the same, yeah, because I think this part of the season it's hard to add more conditioning in, because you're trying to still maintain your legs and try to just keep energy up the best you can. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things. You just got to be ready for a fight and just give everything you got for the 40 minutes.
Aaron does so many things for you guys. What do you appreciate the most about having him on your team?
I think not only, he's an incredible player. He's done really, really great things for us this season and throughout his career. But who he is off the court, just as a leader and as a great teammate too, is two things that really stand out about him. Yeah, like I said, he's a guy that gets it done each and every night, but he's a guy you can go to off the court and talk to about anything. And yeah, he's just a great teammate to play with.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't want to ever have to play without him. Like last week, he had to go out, and then you guys kind of gave up that big lead. What do you need to do to kind of keep it going, even if he's not on the court?
I think in those situations, I just need to do my best to keep our guards' heads in the right position. Just because, one thing that he does really well is he stabilizes our offense and our defense, because he's usually bringing down the ball as the point guard and stopping their guy coming down the other end as their point guard. So I think just me as a center and as a senior, I need to talk to our guys and make sure that they know that in those situations we have to work for the best shots we can offensively and just lock in and get stops on the defensive end.
This is your last go-round here. Have you thought about, you've got basically 4 more games, at least 4 more before the NCAA tournament selection. Have you thought about what you guys need to do to kind of position yourself for the best possible spot to make sure that you're in that?
Yeah, no, it's just winning games, really. I mean, that's kind of the remedy that solves everything. So, I mean, yeah, there's all the bracketology stuff going on, and different people have different perspectives on it. But if we win games and do what we're able to do, I think we'll put ourselves in a great position. So yeah, at the end of the day, it just comes down to going 1-0 every day, whether it's on the practice floor or on the court. So yeah, just doing the best we can every day to win games.
When you went home after the Oregon game the other night, obviously it's senior night, was it any different for you? Like, did you find yourself watching the highlights a little bit more than usual because it's your last home game? Like, what was that next 24 hours like?
It was weird. No, I think immediately after the game, I had a lot of family there just for senior night, people that came out to support me. And yeah, I mean, it was just nostalgic, just sitting with them there after the game, talking with them right outside Poly Court. I mean, it's just a weird deal knowing that it was my last time playing in Poly. And I mean, it was great to finish it with a win, and yeah, of course, looking back, it's going to be something I'm going to remember for a very long time. But I mean, it was just a special moment, and I think it finished off a special home court season. But now as a senior in my last go around, I just want to do the best to finish it off on the road and on neutral site games, and yeah, just finish the season off strong.
You've been on this trip before. What makes going to the mountain schools such a hard trip to play there?
You know what? I've actually never played on this trip, so I do not know. My freshman year, we didn't go here, and last year I was redshirted, so I didn't play. So
okay,
this is my first time playing on this trip.
Okay, but you were there last year, right? You were on the bench.
Yes, I was there.
And it took some pretty incredible efforts. Bryce, you know, you needed 9 3-pointers from Bryce to beat Colorado, and Lonzo came up with some big plays in the second half to beat Utah.
Yeah.
So what do you think makes them tough on their home courts?
I mean, it's similar to playing in anybody else's gym. It's just hard to win in other people's gyms. So, you know, they have a good crowd, they have a good environment, and they just play hard, and they're a good team. So that's what makes it hard.
Have you ever played in altitude before, even though it's not here?
No, never.
Did you notice the altitude at all, even though you weren't playing? Did you notice, like, just walking around?
Yeah. I found myself a lot thirstier than usual, drinking a lot more water. So, yeah.
Do you think you'll maybe drink more water in the days leading up to the game this time because you know that now?
Yeah. You know, we take an extra case of water when we go out there.
They were up 3, or you guys were up 3 last year. They hit a 2-pointer, and like half the crowd cheered like the game was tied at the end of the Utah game.
I do remember that. Yeah, I actually do remember that.
What was that like? Were you confused? Did it confuse you?
Let me see if I can remember that. I do remember that. I forgot. Was his foot on the line or?
He was close, but I think it was.
Yeah,
pretty clear.
I remember everybody was calling game.
Yeah.
And we was just like game, and everybody else was just cheering.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy.
Getting to play next to Aaron all the time, what do you appreciate the most about what he brings to this team?
He brings a different type of toughness. You know, he plays hard all the time, and for him to be our leader, to play that hard, it rubs off on everybody.
Do you ever play one-on-one with Aaron in the off season, or how hard is he to go against in that setting if you've gone up against him like that?
You know what? We used to back like freshman year. We don't anymore. But like I said, he plays hard, man. He plays good defense. You know, he's a hack. That's people don't know. He's a hack, but you know, he's a competitor, man. So it's always difficult to play against a competitor like that.
By a hack, you mean he'll do some
He fouls you. He fouls you, and he claims he doesn't foul you. He's a hack. But yeah, like I say, he's a competitor, man, and he's a really good player. So it's always tough going against him.
I think Coach Alford was talking about how he thinks that Aaron should be in the running for Pac-12 Player of the Year. For you as a teammate, you get to watch him up close all the time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't see why not. You know, he's averaging 20 in conference. He pretty much is extremely vital to what we do. I mean, you see what happened when he came out the game against Oregon, so that goes to show you how valuable he is to this team. So I don't see why he shouldn't win it.
Do you pay attention to the bracket projections at all? You know, one of the ESPN, you guys won 2 games last week and went from being last 4 in to first 4 out, which seems a little bit odd. But do you pay attention to that stuff at all?
Nah, I'm just out here trying to win games, you know. We just gonna keep playing the way we're playing. And, you know, if we just keep winning, then that'll all take care of itself.